We are now starting to look at billion-dollar days. We'll get into that very shortly with Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy. Peter Schiff has put out a warning to the market towards Bitcoin investors, for everyone that is in the markets. With the news that happened yesterday and then President Biden's propaganda, we've got a lot to get through. I've got a couple of videos. One that's really scary. I'll bring it up a little bit later. I believe it's happening in New York as well. But the good news here, actually the good news, this is the really good news, ladies and gentlemen. It is a red day. It doesn't get any better than that. The red days are what I live for. I absolutely love them. We can dive into that in a moment, but the red days are for stacking, green days are for chilling. And then all you need to do is stack and chill. So we'll get into it. Michael Saylor's massive Bitcoin bet crosses $1 billion in unrealized profits. Saylor's business software company MicroStrategy, I'll just see if I can make that a bit bigger for everyone. How's that? Saylor's business software company MicroStrategy held more than 158,000 Bitcoin as of Friday. Couple of things here that are absolutely massive. The surging price of Bitcoin has pushed the asset's largest public holder, business software company MicroStrategy, to unrealized gains of over $1.1 billion. This is going to unleash a tsunami, and we'll get into someone else saying there is a tsunami of money coming. So $1.1 billion in unrealized gains, 25% more than their cumulative investment. That's massive. People are going to start to take notice of that, and shareholders are going to start asking companies why they have not adopted a Bitcoin strategy. When you're on the side of Bitcoin, on the side of truth, it's unstoppable. I believe it's in the Bible. The truth will prevail. Otherwise, it's an amazing saying. And we're seeing that play out right here. The truth will prevail. Bitcoin holdings at the company founded by executive chairman Michael Saylor, who often tweets his support. Often, he doesn't stop. For the largest cryptocurrency, reached 5.7 billion late on Thursday as the price crossed 37,000 for the first time. Bitcoin is coming. The company holds over 158,000 Bitcoin and positioned it quite over a 3-year period by investing company funds and proceeds from bond sales. The value of the holdings is now equal to over 80% of MicroStrategy's $7.1 billion stock market capitalization. The cost for these holdings is a cumulative, I think 4.6, there we go, billion dollars. That's more than 10 times larger than the next biggest institutional holder. This is what you need to take note of. Their position is 10 times bigger, larger than the next biggest institutional holder. The game theory that's going to kick in, and a company's ever going to be able to catch up? Maybe not. Maybe the likes like Amazon, Tesla, Google, Facebook, the FANG stocks, maybe they have the opportunity to be able to catch up to MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy. What Michael Saylor has done, here's a rocket scientist. He does know Bitcoin is going to the moon. I know it's a saying we love to say, but in all seriousness, what's happening with this is huge news, because while companies may not be able to, countries will be able to. And when they see, oh yeah, that company, this little company has invested 4.6 billion, turned into 7-point-something billion dollars. Incredible with their market cap. Now, what inspired this is simply Bitcoin. Every $6,313 move from 29,586 is $1 billion for Saylor and MicroStrategy. Absolutely huge. Make sure you are following Simply Bitcoin. I have reposted this obviously here. Great channel, great YouTube channel, great X channel. X, it sounds so dirty, doesn't it? Anyway, Peter Schiff. And g'day to everyone in the chat that is watching live. If you can smash the thumbs up, Crypto Lane, just you and me, champ. It's good to see you this morning. Don't be fooled. So there's Peter Schiff, love him or hate him. He's a pretty smart, intelligent, pretty smart. Let's give him credit. This guy is extremely smart, extremely intelligent, somebody worth following, and that's why so many Bitcoin people do. He understands Bitcoin because he gets gold. He's on Twitter, so he understands technology. He's just being a twat. Anyway, don't be fooled. That's in regards to Bitcoin. In regards to this, he's pretty spot on. Don't be fooled by October's flat CPI. It's just 1 month and it's only 0.1% lower than expectations. Year-over-year headline is still 3.2 and core is still 4%. The inflation numbers have been bottoming and future CPI numbers will be much hotter even as the economy cools. Hashtag stagflation. Have you seen this video getting around? ThomasHayapolo.com. This is crazy that the president is lying to the public blatantly. The lies, the propaganda, the misinformation that is coming out. When I was in the States, I did film a documentary. The first opening scene is in front of Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., because we needed to wake up. Everyone here, you're doing a bloody good job, and we just need to spread the message. Orange pill as many people because it is the last chance at hope, at freedom. And we need to save ourselves from this. This is crazy. Anyway, it's 11 seconds.
So I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
Sort of what he's saying is true. We'll play it again and then we'll unpack it a little bit. Let us know if you have seen it.
So I'm
Give
sick
us a
of this
thumbs
stuff.
up.
We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
Big part of it is part of that President Biden and also the Fed printing an extraordinary amount of money. What I want to say is on X, he is shown as someone that trips and stumbles and bumbles and falls. Watching that video there, he exudes charisma. Absolutely. You can tell why he got to president from seeing that video. Blatant lies in front of the world, potentially. Like, I'm in Australia and I'm watching this video. And he can get up there and he can talk with that much confidence about some BS. That's insane. But hats off. Hey, good morning from Kansas. It's where I grew up, Jose. It's the home of the Great Barrier Reef. Jose, let us know, do you get out to the Great Barrier Reef? It is my happy spot down here at the southern end of the Great Barrier Reef. But up in Cairns, ladies and gentlemen, if you can travel one place in your life, get to Cairns and then go out to the outer Great Barrier Reef. Don't just do a day trip. They take you to sort of crappy reef. I am doing my best not to swear. But if you can go on an overnight cruise or a couple of day cruise and go out to the outer Great Barrier Reef, absolutely amazing. If you've seen Finding Nemo, it's more vibrant than that. Anyway, why today is so good. Bitcoin, $35,417.80. Dominance, 50.21%. But it's red, down 4%. That is looking good in my book. I will be stacking and chilling today. It's an exciting day. And that's my plan, ladies and gentlemen, is on red days to stack, on green days to chill. And that way, when we have these big $10,000, $20,000 candles that go up and go down, I'm good because it's going to happen, in my opinion. Now, this is pretty funny. I had to read it 2 or 3 times. I'll just read it once and I'll repost it for everyone at Sean Clark 911. What's remarkable about this story is that for so many years, corporations set systemically low prices and waited for this moment of unprecedented yet unrelated stimulus to pounce on the American people and at last set prices to match the intersection of supply and demand. This in response to Senator Elizabeth Warren. While inflation is easing, prices are still too high. Why? Corporations are jacking up prices to boost their profits. Democrats like Seb Bob Casey are fighting back to put more money into the pockets of working families and take on corporate monopolies. Crazy. Does that hit? So obviously Troy Cross has taken the piss there. I had to read it a couple of times. It was bloody good. And it's crazy to see this propaganda, and at least we're awake and aware to the fact of it. Portsmouth, England, I'm not even going to bother waiting on down days. Consider the upcoming attack on non-KYC wallets. Absolutely. With that, that's a good point. And what I want to say too, that I've already got my stack, my stretch stack, and it's just for a bit of fun now. If you haven't got to where you need to be, if you haven't gotten to one Bitcoin or whatever it is that pushes you to get as much Bitcoin as possible, make the most of it. The diving's great. Out again next week. Yeah, hopefully I can get out. Yesterday it was pretty bloody flat as well out here. Jose, you're a lucky bastard, mate. Absolutely lucky. Like, ladies and gentlemen, he is in the most beautiful place in the entire world. Truly, it's spent 9 years out there, and I miss it every day. It was not enough, and it is not enough, and I look at it, and I get out there fairly often. But you can't get enough of the Great Barrier Reef. It is great. They call it great for a reason. Elizabeth Warren, this lady is absolutely amazing and absolutely beautiful now. And her photos when she was younger, smoking, but the intelligence that Cathie Wood puts into the space is phenomenal. I know that doesn't sound very articulate. Anyway, let's get into what Cathie Wood has to say, hey?
At least from Gary Gensler.
Just quickly, before we do, I've got this crazy video that is so insidious to show you, and about 2 more slides. Just letting you know, keep watching for that.
His point of view is he thinks Bitcoin can be manipulated. And, you know, this is a decentralized, transparent network. You can follow all the activity online. It's highly unlikely.
Well, it had to be that because he understands, Kathy. He's got enough. Not many people do. A lot of people don't have enough.
Sorry, just to catch up on the backstory here. This is Cathie Wood talking about Gary Gensler at the SEC delaying the ETF. And we've put out a couple of videos here on this channel saying Gary got paid to delay. That was my thoughts. Tinfoil hat, yes, I know, putting that on. But what Cathie Wood has to say next is a confirmation of what is going on. I'm currently listening to the book Atlas Shrugged. I'd recommend that for everyone if you're looking for a non-Bitcoin book. If you are, I almost knocked over my cup of tea. If you are looking for a Bitcoin book, your next read should be Bitcoin Evangelism. It is absolutely great. I've read it, I've listened to it on audio, and I've started reading it again. So, got a couple of books on the go. Bitcoin Evangelism's a bloody good one, as well as Atlas Shrugged. See, I even made a thing with Bitcoin Evangelism because it's either read or eat the bugs. Anyway, Gary Gensler. Cathie Wood speaking against what he's been doing in regards to the ETFs, holding them back. Let's finish the rest.
Knowledge about how it works.
Yes.
To make an informed decision about Bitcoin. He taught at MIT so he understands that it's not a Ponzi scheme or a Beanie Baby. Right. So there has to be something else.
Well, I don't know what it is. I have wondered. There's speculation that he's interested in the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the Treasury Secretary do?
Protecting fiat for the government?
I mean, very focused on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself because he definitely understands.
He understands. So there's something else.
There's something.
Okay,
else.
but how?
It shows.
There's something else. Gary has been paid to delay, or he's got delayed gratification. He understands the ethos of Bitcoin so well. He's got a low time preference that he wants to become secretary. So he's just chilling. He's doing the things of what his puppet masters ask him to do. Anyway, I want to get in. We better get a hustle on here. Brian Dumont, actually, this is the author of Bitcoin Evangelism. In the past 2 weeks, I've talked to family trust investment managers, large church treasurers, accounting firm partners, CEOs of global banks, and wealthy entrepreneurs who are all strategizing their Bitcoin market entry. Get ready. A tsunami of capital is coming for Bitcoin. We played that one. I must have clicked on the wrong one. An unprecedented $8.2 trillion in US government debt will be maturing in the next 12 months, or 1/3 of the total treasuries outstanding. We'll get into that video in a sec that I've been talking about, but this is 3.5 times more than what was net issued so far this year. Keep in mind that the fiscal deficit next year would also require at least another $2 trillion in addition to the $8.2 trillion that needs to be reissued. I'll repost that for everyone to go in there. Another good follow there. It's getting scary. It's getting hectic. And a question for you, ladies and gentlemen, is do you have enough Bitcoin? Did you get there? Because this is what's happening. This is actually happening. Let us know if you've seen this already. Let us know your thoughts. This is creepy. Creepy AF.
Also, we're very focused on the data we're collecting from surveillance efforts, what's being said on social media platforms. And we have launched an effort.
When they say we have launched an effort, pay attention. This is hectic. This is crazy. Bitcoin is the only way to be able to protect against these Muppets. We need to be so careful, so focused and on the goal. People keep talking about crypto in my comments. All your crypto out there is a scam. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is for freedom. It's the only one you need to waste your time with to protect against the tyranny, to protect against this. Bitcoin is hope. Now listen, this is hectic.
To be able to counter some of the negativity and reach out to people when we see hate speech being spoken about online.
Who determines hate speech? This is 1984. This is George Orwell's 1984.
Platforms. Our media analysis, our social media analysis unit has ramped up its monitoring of sites to catch incitement to violence, direct threats to others. And all this is in response to our desire, our strong commitment to ensure that not only do New Yorkers be safe, but they also feel safe.
New Yorkers, not only do you need to be safe, you need to feel safe. So the state is going to jump in there. They're going to listen to what you have to say. They will be in your DMs, your messages, your emails. They will be monitoring your social media platforms. Why? For your protection, because we live in a bubble-wrapped world. So, do you have enough Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen? That is the question that you seriously need to ask yourself. We've gone through such a long bear market, and even though we're down today, it won't last long. Seriously, even if we drop back to like the low or the high 20,000s from here and you bought today, who cares? It's still good. And if you're thinking about in fiat terms, say it gets only to $100,000. Not financial advice. Say it only gets to $100,000 and you're buying it at $25,000, $35,000, or even $50,000. And you're thinking in fiat terms. If you're buying it at $50,000 and it goes to $100,000, that's 100% profit. That's more than 10 years in the traditional stock market as a return. That's the way that you need to think about it, because when these big institutions come in there, they will not care whether it's at 35, 69,000, 100,000. Once they start allocating, they'll be having a long-term mindset. It's we need to be aware of what's going on. Safety in a Moose is got some good words here as well. Yeah, to control your feelings, how you feel.
And I think Bitcoin is like that. Bitcoin is like financial gunpowder.
And then we come back to Bitcoin. The higher calling, Bitcoin is like gunpowder. Over to you, Safe.
It's the safest way of sending money halfway around the world, the most secure way, and it's the hardest money that we've ever invented. So it's not something that is, whether we should or want to or...
Not related to Bitcoin, but how well put together does Safe look in this video? Like he's just dressed impeccably. And he comes across so confident. I really like it. He is dressed really well for himself.
whether people, we try to win people over. And this, this is why my book is not marketing for Bitcoin, because I don't think marketing for Bitcoin matters. At the end of the day, this is economic reality. The harder money will win. Gold beats silver, and I discussed this in my book, not because, there was better marketing for gold or there was better propaganda for gold. It beat silver because of economic reality. Gold grew at a much slower rate than silver. The value of silver declined. And I think this is really the case with Bitcoin, I think.
And as you start reading all the Bitcoin books, you will realize that humans naturally gravitate to the hardest form of money. From trade, and then we went into like cowrie shells, salt, even tobacco, things like that, which weren't really that scarce. And then obviously silver, like Safe is saying, and then into gold, and now we have Bitcoin. It's just improving on it. Obviously, the nation states are going to fight for their dirty fiat. They want to be able to continue to control the money printer, because he who controls the money printer controls the world. 80% of Bitcoin addresses currently in profit. That is the power of Bitcoin here. That does not happen very often anywhere else. So take note. I'm not going to read all this. It's a huge article. It's by Daniel, I believe. Daniel Basson would be my guess. And it may not be, but if it is Daniel Basson, I've posted and read a couple of things by him before. We'll see where this leads. Just says Daniel, so maybe it's not. Daniel Basson would probably say his full name there. It's in regards to ESG. It is a huge article that really destroys not the fake research that went on in regards to ESG, but the misguided, outdated. The research was current, but the information that they used was very, very outdated. And in other words, they said our most recent mining map data might not represent the current status quo. In other words, it might be out of date. The heartbeat of a modeling something dynamic like Bitcoin mining is continually updated data. So it's 22 months out of date. And does 22 months make a big deal? Nearly 2 years. It makes a huge deal. So I'd read that. And anyone that goes on about Bitcoin mining using too much energy, not being ESG friendly, the ESG narrative preventing institutions from being able to allocate from there. Obviously, BlackRock was the pusher of this ESG agenda. They're launching a Bitcoin spot ETF, so I believe they're going to start marketing for us as well, which is good. But this is a great article, well worth your time here, ladies and gentlemen. Market cap today, $1.4 trillion there. It is what it is. And saying that, like still a week ago, we were at like about $27,000. At the moment, we're at $35,159.22. That looks pretty bad, ladies and gentlemen, but okay, I lie. A week ago, we're at about 35,500. 2 weeks. We'll go back. Have we really been up for that long? Really? It's gone up so quick. It feels like it's gone up so quick, but actually to be able to hold for the last 2 weeks fairly much sideways, that adds strength into the market. If we can range here around the 35,000, stay above 35,000 is good news for us long term. I mean short term. If we drop below short term, well, it's even better news really, because we can stack. Anyway, in the last 24 hours, I got that so mixed up. Time has flown in the last couple of weeks, hey? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It moves up so quick. Like the space is always developing. I guess a great reason to hit subscribe if we vibe, and drop us a like. So 24-hour low, 35,243. It did hold above that 35,000 there. 24-hour high at 36,860. What's that? $1,600 candle. Well, not a $1,600 candle, but a $1,600 price move on a sideways day. well, on a down day, actually. That's it's full on. And it's actually a very boring time in the market. $1,600 in this part of the bull market. And yeah, we're definitely seeing $10,000 to $20,000. This is crazy. So obviously we brought up the CME predictions yesterday, but I just want to point out a couple of things there. One of the most boring topics that we do cover here, US CPI unexpectedly flat on October. Bitcoin adds nearly 1%. The reason why I say it is boring is because it's more lies, misinformation, more propaganda. They just changed the way they've changed the way that they report on it and what they're reporting on. In addition to the headline information beat, core CPI declined last month. Well done. Do you feel like inflation is going down? So while headline CPI inflation has been receding for months, it has stayed above the US Fed's 2% target. In addition, the core rate had stubbornly remained above 4% for several months running. Fed members have hinted that they're interested in perhaps one more rate hike before finally ending what's now roughly 20-month monetary tightening cycle. Maybe we get one early next year. Maybe we get a pause in December, an early one January, February next year, and then they pause. Then we have the halving. We actually didn't have the block clock come up. Let's go to this real quick. We don't know where we are in space and time. So we are at block height 816,776. It is 6:13 a.m. Exchange rate is 35,428. Stats per dollar, you get a little bit more today, 2,823. That's why I like red days as well. I'm measuring things, I don't know, probably still on Bitcoins, but it is good to see sats or Bitcoin, not Bitcoins. November 15, 2023, where I am. Maybe it's November 14 where you are. The last block reward, 7.158 is the subsidy plus fees. Well done. And the fees made up 12.69% of the reward. We dove into the number 69 yesterday. It was a little bit of fun. Yesterday was a crazy day with numbers. Jason Mercer in the chat. Bloody hell. Mate, good to see you this morning. You're up early, the daily grind. The guy's a legend, absolute legend. So shout out, everyone say hi to Jason Mercer. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, buddy. Price this morning's report, traders were pricing about an 86% chance the Fed would hold rates steady at its next meeting in mid-December. And there's roughly a 75% chance of continued pause at the Jan meeting, according to the CME. Fed Watch tool. Shortly after the data, the odds of a December pause rose to 99.5%, for a January pause to 95.6%. And we see it there, 100% chance that they don't raise. I reckon this is going to come down to 95.6%, closer to it. That's my prediction. Jason Mercer's got to work, mate, and he's here on YouTube procrastinating. Get at it, buddy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was the news with the fast facts. Your next Bitcoin read should be Bitcoin Evangelism. It's a bloody good book. I'm going to keep bringing it up. Have a very beautiful day. Be blessed. Peace.